let's talk about the Tate brothers. That was the next segue. So as far as I understand, they haven't been, I don't know how it works. They haven't been indicted yet in the UK, but the UK prosecutors have announced that charges will be forthcoming for rape, for sex trafficking, that it's been in the works for a long time. Romania has said that they will extradite them to the UK after they have their trial in Romania, unless I've misunderstood that. There's one question. Is the announcement that they will extradite them after their Romanian prosecution, that creates a perception that they're going to get convicted in Romania?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, but I think what Romania means is the priority of prosecution. Sometimes they also require imprisonment, the whole prison term be served before they'll extradite someone for the trial. Sometimes they'll extradite them for the trial, bring them back to serve their prison sentence there first, and then another place later. So it all varies. Because like you look at what happened in the George Floyd case, Derek Chauvin. Chauvin was prosecuted first in the state case, then cut a plea in the federal case, but ended up doing all his time in the federal facility rather than so he could delay doing any time in the state facility. So it can vary. So we don't know what, to my knowledge, the substantive merits of the allegations are. I'll say is apparently all the conduct relates to almost a decade ago, number one. And number two, facts that were known a decade ago about the brothers. And three, that the timing directly corresponds to the Tate brothers getting political, weaponizing their audience, which was mostly brought in for money for business opportunities and things like that, and turning them against the EU and turning them against the Biden administration. And what I've told people is like, how do you not have skepticism about a case that the timing of which screams selective prosecution? And then, hold on. So you're going to tell me the most dangerous human traffickers in the world, it's not Jeffrey Epstein. It's not Ghislaine Maxwell. It's not P. Diddy, who only trafficked people to themselves, according to Maureen Comey of our federal government, who controlled all three prosecutions miraculously and magically. But it's the Tate brothers for running like OnlyFans before OnlyFans, a webcam business. It's like, so I'm just skeptical about the timing of the case. Now, maybe some facts and witnesses will step forward. That will change my opinion of the case. But people are like, hey, Martin, so are you still skeptical? Yeah, you're darn right I'm still skeptical. The timing of it makes no sense to me unless it's politically motivated. And that makes me wonder whether the factual veracity of the allegations are true. And I have seen tons of women who were part of that business with Tate come out publicly and say that none of this ever happened, that they were treated well and so on. And that it was one of the best. If you know anybody in that industry, it's like the Tate brothers are your top target. Do you know who runs the webcam industry around the world? I mean, that is a nasty business that involves some of the nastiest people on the planet, of which I guarantee you the Tate brothers are nowhere comparable to what those others is. And none of them are being prosecuted. Does anyone really believe the Tate brothers are being focused upon because somebody in the British government is morally horrified at their webcam business? Or do you think it's because they don't like their politics and they want to send a message to shut up about your politics or we may put you in prison?
Well, again, like you say, they're operating in a disgusting industry, which I like to say also, keep your schmeckle in your pants, don't go out after midnight, don't record yourself having sex, and don't operate in a business that is recording webcam sex.
Clubs, bad idea. Webcam business, bad idea. A lot of that business going to get you into trouble. You're going to deal with troublemakers and agitators and whole kinds of other kinds of issues. And, I have my own personal moral beliefs that disfavor those businesses. But independent of that, just practical advice. You're 9 times out of 10, you'll get into trouble in that industry.
Well, and I'm not going to relitigate the, my position on the Tates. You ask for trouble, eventually you're going to find it. But you're dealing now with the UK, which has gone after prominent.
Well,
another
and
problem.
The thing is, when they were not political, and because almost all this concerns things were during their pre-political era, nobody was investigating them. And these were known. You can go back and find the articles, the references, the videos. You can find everything. It's like, so you're going to tell me as soon as they get really political and successful politically, that's when suddenly they're under massive criminal investigation.
And this is what people should appreciate this. Because if Eva Barnes, you haven't seen the evidence, he put the videos up there. There's a video of him slapping a girl, strangling. There is. The defense is going to be, we were doing this in front of a camera because that's what whatever the pervert fetishes want on that camera. The charges against Tate, or at least the time frame, is 2012 to 2015. And now you look at what the UK is doing to Russell Brand, going back nearly 20 years.
Julian Assange. Julian Assange. Remember, there was a bogus rape case they brought against Julian Assange.
And this is the problem when they bring bogus rape cases against people like Julian Assange. It may cause people to question when they bring bona fide rape cases.
I'm just skeptical of the Tate brothers. One, because of how many women have vouched for them. They were in that same business. Two, because of the timing and sequence of this being clearly politically motivated. And third, the Tate brothers don't give off that vibe. I've had to deal with this in a wide range of contexts, represented tons of victims. They give off the vibe of, uber macho kind of guys that the fidelity might not be their strong point, but you don't get this. It's like Trump. The reason why I didn't believe the allegations against Trump. Charmers don't go out and sexually assault people. It just doesn't happen with any. I mean, it's extraordinary and exceedingly rare. It's power freaks that commit sexual assault. People who feel weak and impotent and incapable, who are obsessed with control. Nothing about them communicates that. So it's like they just don't fit the psychological forensic profile of someone who would engage in that kind of conduct. So the timing of it, the other witnesses, their course of conduct, the obvious politically motivated nature of the prosecutions, combined with who they come across as being psychologically, forensically, make me very skeptical of the allegations. Doesn't mean the allegations can't be true. It just means we should approach them with a great degree of skepticism because we have lots of reasons to be skeptical.